This is something I wrote to the Kyle Kulinski Show. Yes. And now everything is blocked. Yes, the connection were gone. I can't type anymore. My mouse is not working. You know, all those dirty things the fucking Nazis are doing at the moment in real time. Real time means 11:05 a.m. on the 21 of August, you know? Yes. And you wanna know why? I mean, I am used to fight against those computer Nazis, which actually are programming human brain cells. Wicked coward German Nazi. Yes. And you know what I wanted to write? Because now I can't write anymore. They blocked me from writing by having computer access to my home equipment. Uh, they always do things like that because those are wicked coward Nazi soldiers, you know, bull-eye Nazis. They see through my eyes. And when I know I'm going to write something which they don't like about their war crimes which they committed after such long time of period, yes. Now listen what I wrote. Be very careful, Mr. Kulinski. A part of my real life. Under Scholz, the computer Nazis from Germany asked me to go in Ukraine. Since then, those Nazis get into my right eye, zooming the pupil as close as possible and paralyze the muscles. That happened. No, the writing were gone, you know. What I wanted to write, that happened 3 years ago. And since 3 years, by paralyzing my zoom function inside my right eye, yes, they take everything close. Yes, they zoom everything close and then they paralyze the zoom muscles. And that means they blind me day and night. Everything I look out of the window and I see the sun, or go on the street, I see the sun, or in the night there's a car coming with a light. I am always blinded. The same when I'm at my home and there's a light. I'm permanently blinded. That's why I hate those German Nazis. Yes, and I hate those Nazis because they working since Manfred Wörner. That was a defense minister in the year of 1987. Since then, those wicked coward Nazis, they're torturing inside my dreaming cells. Yes. And 5 years later, in the year of 1991, they stimulate me into deep sleep. They managed to do that in a time between 10 and 15 minutes. So, that's why, because they're torturing, they stimulate me into deep sleep. That's why I try to help. That's why I try to help. I try to get help from the police. I went to the police and I accused unknown computer Nazis. I didn't say the word Nazis, yes, but I went to the police. I asked the police and and the prosecutor, the law enforcement agency, for help. I want to find out who was the computer Nazi, who, what minister that Nazi was actually working for, to manage to stimulate me into deep sleep and torturing me since 87 inside the Dreamincell. Yes, and what then happened? You can't believe that. In 1993 they start keeping me awake. In 1993 they organized acoustic torture inside the listening cells day and night. Yes. In the year of 1993 I made a trip, a vacation. I went to Turkey. I was invited by a family which were living in my neighborhood, and we drove together to Turkey, and I spent 5 months in Turkey. And in Turkey, in Adana, was a place. I was first time listened to a voice inside my head. But that was not a German voice. That was an American man who was speaking inside my listening cells. Yes, inside my listening cells. And it seems he wanted to give me an advice how I have to behave in a flat, in the living room of the people of my friends who invited me to stay at their home. Yes, the recommendation inside my listening cells was close that door. Nothing else, only those words, close that door. And I was actually that time in a room where a garden door was open. That was in the evening, about 11 o'clock, you know, and I was reading or watching videos with my camcorder uh, I had with me in my package, you know, and then he said, close the door. I mean, observing a house from satellite, I know, but see through human eyes and give the recommendation inside the listening cells and say, close the door, it's better for your security, Mister from Germany. An American soldier. Perhaps he was from Adana, Ingelik. You know that American base, that Air Force base in Ingelik. Huh? Yes, could be. Because I was visiting that Air Force base, and once I met a girl from Spain. She was actually working there, taking care of children. And we had only a nice evening and talking, discussing, and nothing more. And that happened later, a few days later, you know. Then I heard that American soldier talking inside my head, inside my listening cells, and see through my eyes, and saw that door which were standing open, and then he gave me instruction how to behave. Yeah? He just said close the door, and I did a reaction on that because I was confused that there's actually a guy talking inside my head, crystal clear, like he's standing in front of me, but inside the listening cells, and he using any kind of microphone to give me that advice. And then I said, sorry, I don't take any kind of military advice or military order, I said. You know, and those wicked coward Nazis, 2 days later or 3 days later at the same place, they torturing me inside my dreaming cells. Yes, they use that again since 87, and that was now 1993. Huh? And when the Nazis start torturing me with that movie inside my Dreamincell, I found myself sitting in a poor chamber, you know, on the ground, and I noticed I was unhappy, sad, depressed, or whatever. I felt that emotion, and then I saw in front of me on the ground a revolver. I picked up that revolver, pointed at my chest, and shot me twice in my chest. That was a revenge of my behavior after that soldier talked inside my head. Perhaps that soldier, he had a question. Huh? Why or whatever? Why should I talk? Why? What kind of reaction was that? Huh? I didn't expect that reaction. Sorry, I didn't take any kind of military order. What you got to do inside my head? Huh? And then comes the revenge of the German Nazis. Yes? Oh, I commit suicide. So the Nazis actually own a tape where I commit suicide, where I pick up a revolver and shoot me twice in my chest. That happened in 1993, And in 1996, those dirty Nazis, they torture me into coma. And after they torture me into coma, in 1993, when I come back from Turkey, I start working again full time, and then those dirty Nazi rats, they start keeping me awake. Yes, all the time until 1996. And 1996, they torture me into coma. Yes, and all the years, 1993, 1994, 1995, 1996, also 1997, always days, 3 days, 3 nights, 4 days, 4 nights, sending electricity inside the sleeping cells, and you can't work anymore. You lose your full-time work. Yes, I lost my full-time work when those Nazis started keeping me awake. And I know why. Because in their sick Nazi mind, which had proven to be right until today, because the Nazis don't stop being present inside the body, inside the brain cells, They don't leave the body. They go on. Yes. And after they paralyze my right eye, I lose also on the left side. Yes. Also my left eye is getting damaged. And it's precisely like that so-called sickness Mr. Elton John got. Yes. Once, yes, first he lost his right eye, but I told you what the Nazis did. Yes. When I go to the doctor and say, the doctor, hey, I got military computer Nazis inside my head. They're working on biological and genetic weapons. And they paralyze my zoom function inside the pupil. That's why I'm blinded day and night. Huh? Does the doctor believe that? Or think you are actually mentally sick or something? But anyhow, you need to go to a doctor. Yes? But, you don't trust the German doctors anymore. Because in the year of 1988, those dirty Nazis, when I went to the doctor and had an operation on my left ear, Those Nazis who already was torturing inside my dreaming cells. Those Nazis also recognized that there's going to be an operation on my body. Yes, in hospital. Because I smashed my left ear. The skin were broken. And the Nazis who already was inside my body and terrorizing me inside the dreaming cells, they know there's going to be an operation on the body, and since then they know there's going to be an operation, they organize the second computer chip, which they place secretly after that operation on my left ear, inside my left ear, behind my left ear. So actually the second one inside the head. Yes. And it turned out that this got a computer connection to the interim minister. Yes, to the interim minister of North Rhine-Westphalia. And that dirty Nazi interim minister, Schnorr, when that operation happened, he was in command. So actually he was a fucking dirty Nazi who passed over the embedded chip to the doctors to place that inside the body. The dirty social democratic Nazi interim minister Schnorr. So that dirty Nazi interim minister Schnorr also have computer Nazi crew called National Security Agency, the political police. Yes. So then you see what's going on in Germany. On one side, the first chip torturing into coma, yes, torturing inside the sleeping cells, stimulate into deep sleep, torturing into coma, and torturing that happened in 2005 until a heart attack. Again, they kept me awake for 5 days and 5 nights until I had a heart attack. It took 6 months to recover from that heart attack. Yes, 6 fucking months. And they just keep on dialing inside the brain. Yes, the brain is Nazis' property. Yes, all the things they rob are not only the images out of the visible cells or out of the seeing cells, also the thoughts. Also the thoughts are Nazis' property. And then you realize after such long period of time that you are actually a victim of Auschwitz. Precisely the same like Auschwitz. They rob all your property, yes, out of your brain. They terrorize you by using you as stative, an optical human being, you know, a camera, yes, they terrorize you with that. Get used to it. Get used to it. It is necessary. We got to spy day and night at Christian Nazis since Dr. Helmut Kohl, from Dr. Helmut Kohl, who run the Nazi machine, defense minister, the fucking Nazi, Christian Nazi, Manfred Wörner. Then the next Nazi arrived, Mr. Stoltenberg, Jens Stoltenberg. He stimulated into deep sleep in 1991. And then the next Nazi arrived, Volker Rühr. Oh, he kept awake. He forced into social security and starvation condition permanently by torturing inside the sleeping cells. 1996, the Nazi torturing into coma. Nothing happened to them. because the police and prosecutor by the interim minister Nazi Schnorr, they close all the case because the Nazi Schnorr cooking his own soup. You know, that's why. Huh? Always coalition Nazis, always Christian Nazis, and always social democratic Nazis, with the brown Nazi hand, the weapon as postmodern. I'm proud to be a member in the holy NATO pussy where the fucking German Nazi words also can use American brain chip technology and waterboarding software. Yes, the fucking Nazi. Völkerei. He love waterboarding inside the Dreamincell. Yes, he let you dive in the water. And then you see on the ground of the swimming pool a virgin fish. You observe the virgin fish until you decide to get up to get some fresh air, but you never reach the air. You know, this is postmodern Nazi waterboarding beside the American colleagues, also the American soldiers love waterboarding. Love waterboarding certain kind of victims. And that fucking Nazi, after he tortured me into coma in 1996, he also, when I recovered from the coma, few days later, he shoot machine gun bullets in my head. Yes, you know, again, a picture album which were driven, and each page of that album was a real shoot inside the head. The dirty Nazis, they shooting an aneurysma, yes, inside the head, like a machine gun bullets. They create brain bleeding, and five hours later, I was bleeding out of my left ear. Yes, those wicked coward Nazis. And in 1996, another war crime happened. They moved my legs against my will. They smashed my knees against my chest. And that create hate and pain. I never had in my entire life such pain. And that wicked coward Nazi soldier, he knew precisely what kind of pain that software program were created. And that Nazi, he used another software program. He paralyzed my voice muscles that I can't scream